Our lesson for this video is gathering materials, chapter 7 in your book. Class, first of all, you're going to use your own personal experience. One young lady had a brother who had autism. She gave an excellent speech on her brother and how it had affected her and her family. And she gave very vivid descriptions, and it was emotionally moving. Anytime you have an experience, draw upon that experience to use in your speech. Next, we want to talk about research in the MTSU library. One of the first things you need to do is to go to the MTSU library website. You'll find a chat box over there, and if you have a subject and you want to know where to search, well, just ask a librarian. She'll answer very shortly. And we are going to have a research day in the library where we will begin our research. I will have a librarian come in and explain how you can find a lot of information for your speech. But one of the things the library has done very well for us is they've created a COM 2200 section. And in that section there are all types of sources that you can use for your speech. We really appreciate the work they've done on that. When you open up the website, you'll see right in the center a search bar. There's the bar where you can type in the topic you're searching. But if you notice, right below the bar, all the way to the right, in small letters, is the word Research Guides. That will be where you can find the COM 2200 research site. Now, when you click Research Guides, scroll down to Speech and Communication. Click that. You will see COM 2200 Fundamentals of Communication. Click that. Then scroll down the page. There will be a nice set of tabs all the way across when you open up this, and it will have all kinds of sources. There will be magazines and journals and statistical sources, all kinds of information for you to find and use. But then after you open that up, scroll down until you see Opposing Viewpoints. Now when you click on Opposing Viewpoints, you'll open up, and the first one on the top left, the first topic, is Business and Economics. By the side of that, click View All. Class, when that opens up, then go to the right above that on the left is Choose Category. Click the down arrow and click View All. That will give you a complete list of topics in the Opposing Viewpoints, and there will be multiple resources for you to find information. Remember, in your speech, informative and persuasive, you have to have 6 sources, 3 different types of sources, but there is a minimum requirement of 6 sources. Now, the 6 sources might include 2 websites, 1 journal, 1 newspaper, 2 magazines. You can see there are 3 different types of sources, but there are 6 sources total. That's what we're looking for in your informative and your persuasive speech. Continuing your research, you might use a yearbook, facts on file, current information, it's loaded with it. Quotations, Bartlett's familiar quotations, there's 25,000 in that. You should be able to find something if you need to conclude with a nice strong quote, or maybe even open your speech with a strong quote as an attention getter. There are biographical aids. Who's Who in America is probably one of the best sources. If you need more information about a particular individual, again, go to that chat box and ask the librarian. Newspaper, periodical databases are available in the MTSU library website. Opposing Viewpoints. You can look there and look again at the tabs across the top, and you'll be able to see all kinds of information, newspapers, magazines, journals, and so forth. Academic journals and websites as well, because we do want you to use the internet. Now please note, no Wikipedia. Do not give us a citation from Wikipedia. However, Wikipedia is a good place to start gathering information about your topic that will lead you to other reliable sources for your citations. You want to narrow your topic search, so when you do this, you might be interested in college cheerleading, and so that's a pretty broad topic. If you type in college cheerleading and put quotations around it, it will bring up all of the articles with that exact phrase. Apparently there are over 300,000. That's a bit much to search, obviously, but maybe you're going to narrow your topic to college cheerleading and sports injury. If you put the plus sign and then put the quotations around sports injury, it limits the search to both sets of keywords. There are also government sources you can use. Statistical Abstract is one. The textbook has many others. I'm just mentioning this one. Numerical information about the social, political, and economic aspects in the United States of America. So, let's talk about how we evaluate internet sites to see if they're reliable sites. They have to be sites that really have credentials, that are valid sites, that hopefully are unbiased sites and give us good information that we can use in our speech to ultimately influence others and inform others as well. You want to find the author of the site. A lot of times in an internet site, the author's credentials, his qualification, his or her qualifications are not given. Well, go to Google and type in their name, and a lot of times you can find their credentials, which will help you give us their qualifications and understand that they do have the authority to speak about this particular topic. They are indeed experts. Sponsorship, sometimes there isn't an author, and then there's just an organization that is responsible for the site. Well, what is their credibility? Does this organization have strong credentials? Again, go to Google, type in the organization's name, and a lot of times you'll find the credentials that you're looking for. If you cannot verify the authors or the organization's credentials, do not use it. Simple answer. Skip it. There's tons of information out there about any topic you want to speak on. Keep searching. And then in evaluating the internet, you want to consider recency. You want to consider information that is current, that's within 12 months, the best possible, and maybe a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, but current, in my mind, is about 12 months old or less. So look for a copyright date, look for a publication date, and the date of last revision, and that's usually at the top or the bottom of the document. So that's evaluating internet sources. What about interviews? Well, decide who you're going to interview. They're permissible if the person you're interviewing is an expert, or perhaps you're giving peer testimony. Perhaps you're interviewing a disabled person. Well, they would certainly qualify if you're talking about disabilities. But decide who, decide when, set up an appointment, decide if you're going to record the interview or not, and tell the person that you are going to record it if you are. And then make sure you prepare your questions. Dress well. Don't take up too much time. People are busy. Get in, get out, and when you finish, go back and transcribe your notes. Write out the notes that you've taken in shorthand in full sentences, and that way you won't forget what you wrote. Let's give you some tips for research. Take your notes efficiently. Be consistent about how you record your notes. Make a separate note for each quotation. Even if you're getting 2 or 3 quotations from the same source, make a separate note for each one. And when we talk about recording them consistently, here is a great way to record your notes so that you can go back and research them and then organize them efficiently. Maybe I'm going to talk about the effects of sugar. The purpose of my speech is to inform my audience about 3 of the dangerous effects of consuming too much sugar. As I begin to learn and read, and I look in journals and magazines, I look in newspapers, websites, I begin to find all kinds of good information about how harmful sugar is. So I begin to see that there's a lot about how it damages the brain. So I go into Microsoft Word or whatever your software is, and I create a page and I put brain at the top. I also, as I'm reading, I'm finding that I'm taking notes about how it increases your cancer risk and how it damages the heart. Now, as I begin to find information, I create a separate page for each of these topics. These will become my main points in the speech. So let's say I find a subject and I write the word subject here. Sugar damages the brain. Next, you want to write the author and the title. John Smith, Your Brain on Sugar, perhaps. You want to write the entire MLA citation in another page. Here's 3 here, but you have a 4th over here where you have works cited, and that's where you're putting down your complete MLA citation. Build your works cited page as you do your research. It will be very easy just to juggle it around a little bit, get it in the right format, and then it will be complete just like that. Then after you write the subject, the author, and the title, write a little note about the quotation. Studies show cognitive impairment from sugar consumption. When you get about 3 or 4 citations on one page about one main point that you're going to speak on, you've probably got enough information. Please note, you're looking for stories. You're looking for expert testimony. You're looking for statistics about sugar and how it affects the brain. So statistics, examples and stories, testimony. You get 2 or 3 good, strong pieces of evidence that support that it has a deleterious or a harmful effect on the brain, then you have a good, well-supported main point. Then you would do the same thing for cancer and heart. Maybe you only find one on cancer, so perhaps you need to find another ill effect that you can use in your speech because you didn't find enough information. Basically, fill up a page with about 3 or 4 citations, and you will have enough to do a 5 to 7 minute informative speech. Please note, keep your works cited page going. As you begin to find materials on different topics, as you learn about your topic, you will be able to create a central idea, a thesis statement. And remember, the central idea would reveal the major points of your speech. So your central idea might be, today I'm going to tell how sugar affects the brain, can increase the risk of cancer, and can harm the heart. That would be an effective central idea. So class, this is a good way to gather material. Start early, work hard, be diligent, and give us a good, well-informed, well-researched speech.